The gentleman from Georgia, Mr. Bishop, is recognized for general remarks on the bill.
Thank you very much, Chair Cole, and thank you, Chairman Simpson, Ranking Member DeLauro, and Ranking Member Pingree for your work on this bill. I regretfully have to speak in opposition to the FY26 Interior and Environment Appropriations Bill. We've marked up 7 bills so far in this full committee, and I have yet to see a bill that does not unfund, underfund, or deprioritize agencies and programs that help everyday people. This bill is no different. I'm disappointed with the majority seemingly tilting at windmills when everyday Americans are suffering. I've seen it firsthand in the city of Thomasville, Georgia, that I represent, where a grant for wastewater infrastructure and a health clinic were inextricably terminated because the administration deemed it too woke. Tell me, how is upgrading water infrastructure and health clinic, how is that, and why do innocent people have to suffer in this relentless attack on Biden-era legislation? Rather than fighting to restore these illegally terminated programs, my Republican colleagues are fine with cutting essential infrastructure programs in their own backyards, which they did when they rescinded the impounded funds for the Thomasville project and hundreds of others in the big, ugly bill. And now my colleagues are pushing a 23% cut to EPA's budget. I'm not the biggest fan of everything that EPA does policy-wise, and I think many of you can attest to that, but I don't see how cutting water infrastructure funding benefits anybody. I think everyone here understands that when you keep pushing back infrastructure repairs, the damage gets worse, and simple fixes turn into expensive headaches. This is incredibly short-sighted. This bill cuts funds for our national parks. As you've heard, we've already seen national parks across the country decrease the services that they offer to the public, which includes trash collection, trail cleaning, and even staffing entrances. National parks are the lifeblood of many of our rural communities, and they showcase some of the most beautiful terrain in our country. If we want our children and families to get outside more, this is not the way. The bill also significantly cuts funding for the Bureau of Labor Management, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, the U.S. Geological Survey, and the Forest Service. These agencies are tasked with stewarding our natural resources for future generations and the benefit of our country. It is not appropriate to be penny-wise and pound-foolish with our lands and the economic value that they provide. Let me say to my friends on the other side of the aisle, it is possible to protect public lands and at the same time use them to promote our economy. But this bill does not find that balance. Instead, it threatens rural communities, burdens conservation, and cuts much-needed funding for underserved populations. I oppose this bill, and again I urge my Republican colleagues to engage in dialogue and return to legislating in a bipartisan manner so that our work product at the end of this process will ensure and inure to the long and short-term benefit of everyday American families now in this generation for years and generations ahead. With that, Mr. Chairman, I regret that I can't support this bill, and I urge a bipartisan effort to come together, and let's do better. I yield back.
I thank the gentleman.